This video is for World Radio Needle Bender 517 Dave out of Michigan. He won my Ham 4 rotor, all rebuilt, ready to go. And the high gain rotor-ez setup. Now, Dave, I'm going to show you how to set this up. Here's Ham Radio Deluxe. Opened up. And up here it says rotator. You want item press. Click on that. And the port you're going to have to guess on where, you know, your USB port plug goes into. Let me get my hand around here, because I can only select COM port 4. You want a refresh rate of 1 second, and stop position on this rotor, you want it to be south. So you've got north and south, and you wanted south, so we're going to do south. And before you get into it, let me see how fast I can find this. I think it's in tools. No. Oh man, that might be options. Let's see. I gotta look around the side here. Okay, yeah, options. And then you want to go over here and click your information. And you can either put in your locator or your longitude and latitude, and then north and south right here. Easiest way to do that is, if you don't know your locator, just Google the nearest town you live in, and it'll tell you in Wikipedia what your longitude and latitude is. So I'm going to look over here, close this window out. Come on, click on the right side. I want to thank Max 585 for this laptop. As you can see right there, it knows where I'm at. See, that's Hudson, Colorado right there. If you zoom in, you'll see it. So once you get this all set up, and you're going to go over here to connect, and of course you got your, oops, I got to turn my box on, and then you're going to have it hooked up to the USB cable. And it says, oh, I got to hit it again because I didn't have the box turned on. Okay, see, it's connected, and it's red now to disconnect. So now the biggest thing is, and the nicest thing is, you want to talk to Australia, you move your mouse over, and I'll see if I can get both of these in the picture. Double click it. Now I'll show you the rotor. You can see it's traveling over to Australia. And all I did was just double click the mouse where I put it. And that click was the brake engaging. It's got a 5-second brake delay on it. Now, as we talked, since you're going south pointing, if you want to go over here and talk to South America, which is past the south line, if we were north pointing, this system knows that all it has to do is swing from this point over to here. I'll show you. I'm just going to double click it. It does a little backstroke, and I will show you that here in a little bit on the rotor. See, it knows that it can swing that way to go to South America. Now stop turning. There's your brake delay. Now let's go back over here to Australia, and I'll show you the rotor. Now I'm going to double click it. See, it did a little backstroke. Now it's going the other way. That's so if the wedge sticks, it'll unstick it, especially if it's a tail twister. I haven't touched the control box yet. Okay, stopped. There goes the brake. Now watch what happens whenever I put it up here on north pointing. And I'll do the same thing. Okay, I got it set up on north pointing. I'm going to go right back over here to Africa. Now watch what it does if it's north pointing. Well, how about that? It just switched over. Well, oh, that didn't work out right. Well, before when it was south pointing, you realize it just went from there to there. Now it's north pointing. Now watch what it does. It knows it's got to swing all the way around. Here we go. Just a little backstroke. See, now that rotor knows that it's got to swing all the way around. Don't worry, I'm not wearing out your rotor. It's still turning, and you can see the little light up here. It's going to change color. The red light means that the brake is released, and it's turning counterclockwise. And oh, there it just stopped. Okay. Now, like before, now I'm going to go over here, and you'll see that it's going to swing all the way around because I'm north pointing now. Does a little jiggle joggle. So that's what we talked about, Dave. And that's why you wanted the south pointing, because you're going to be all going south. Now the red light is on. That means it's turning clockwise, which it is. If you were to look at the top of that thing, it is turning clockwise. Or the rotor, I mean, yeah. Well, it's just about over there. So that's all of the PC version. You set the, well, let's go up here and set this back to south pointing, because that's where you're going to be. You'll set it to south pointing. You'll set the refresh rate to 1 second. Your options on that is none or all those seconds. So if you don't have it set for 1 second and it's set at none, you'll never see the rotor turn on the map. And of course I've connected now, but it's COM4 on my computer. And then you go into the tools. This is very important. Options. And then you want to go into your information. And that's where you put your GPS so that the Ham Radio Deluxe knows where your station is. So I think that's pretty clear. And then we'll go over here to the rotor itself. Now this particular one here, I did write the other, you can see the north, east, south, and west on there just in case somebody wanted this. But it's south pointing, as you can see, west, north. Now here's the point and shoot part. I'm going to turn the calibration button. Let's say I'm going to point it to south. You set it to south and very quickly hit the brake release. It'll release the brake, does that little jigger jogger. Now it's going to go up to south. And you can see on the PC, it is tracking to the south. Now this is the point and shoot option. Stop turning, the brake is released. Bam, now your brake is set. And we'll go a little bit further. You'll see you want to go east. Turn it to east. Hit the brake release. Does a little jigger jogger. And now it's going the same direction. And it's going to go right over there to east on the meter, on the display. It's kind of off a little bit. Well, it's the way the world turns. It's actually pointing pretty much east. And if you want to go back, you just turn the dial back to south. And within so many seconds, hit the brake release. See, it does a little jigger jogger. It's going the other way. And there again, it's going to the south. I might have to recalibrate this a little bit. It does appear to be off a little bit. Well, I am off this a little bit here. It's kind of a tricky little thing. That's pretty close. I'll check the calibration on it. Now, it still works manually, but these lights do not work, but the brake light does. These lights don't work in manual mode. Release your brake. I'm turning counterclockwise. It's going counterclockwise. Get to wherever you want it. Let go of the buttons. The brake is still released. And then there's the brake delay. Go back the other way. Now, let's say I'm going to go all the way south. Hit the brake button. I was going to go all the way over there to south. This thing is made so that it does not go hard over all the way until it stops. Hard over like the Titanic when he's sitting there spinning the wheel on the boat. And they say, are you hard over? The reason why is because I'll turn it a little bit more until it stops. See, it turned just a little bit more. Now, if I set this calibration up just a little bit, watch what happens. The motor's not turning because it's all the way up against the end of rotation switch. If you've got some strong wind and a big beam, that thing is up against that stop. It'll never do the little jigger jogger to release the brake, like right there. It goes back and forth a little bit. Now, if you do it just by the rotor-ez, I'll set it up a little bit and you'll see the rotor does a little backstroke. It'll release that brake. I've got one guy up in Virginia right now that tried to go that little extra little bit, and he's hard over on the rotor, and he's got to drop his tower over a little bit and try to wiggle it a little bit because the wedge is stuck. So that's not a good thing to do. So I'm going to set it up here, up to south, because that's going to be where it's going to be centered at when you get it. All you have to do is line up your antenna so it's pointing south, and you'll be good to go. Now, I've already marked on this rotor that it's pointing north, but just disregard that. Pointing north, converted ham 4. That's got the steel gear, steel ring gear, and the brass motor gear, so it is now a ham 4, but it says point north. It's actually going to be pointing south for you, but that's center position. And yeah, this has all been given away at the Needle Benders last contest, the Eli Cook Field Day contest. Needle Bender World Radio 517 Dave out of Michigan won this gift that I'm giving away. No charge. All he had to do was register. Pretty nice little gift. It'll come with the cord to plug into the PC. Here's the 8-pin Cinch Jones connector to plug into the rotor. Here is the 9-pin connector to plug into the rotor, because this rotor has a pigtail on it. I turned it around here a little bit better. You can see it. It's kind of tied up so it doesn't drag on the ground. But you'll get the connector for this end, and you'll get the connector for the back side of the rotor control box. Because this particular one has got the Cinch Jones connector on the back. Nice about that, hail or lightning strike comes along, you just unplug it. You don't have to worry about it shorting out. Now I want you to note, this is normal if you do not have a rotor connected to it. The needle wobbles. If your rotor's hooked up and everything's going through the potentiometer, it will not shake like that. So if you get it and you turn it on and the needle's shaking like that, that's normal. Okay? And this is my card. If you need anything, my phone number's on there. My YouTube channel. You can see all these videos. Okay? And again, World Radio 585 Max for this laptop that I can use now. That's good. I think everything will be okay for you there, Dave. The rotor and the control box. Got a little spot on the top where the light bulb got a little hot, but that's an LED light that's in there now, so it won't get hot. And you are number 0016. Oh, I also wanted to let you know, here is the paperwork you'll get with it. It tells you every wire that's hooked up and the color code and where every wire goes in this board. And then the second page has got a continuation of all of it. It tells you where to get the manuals to run this. There it is, hamsupply.com. And next page, my fingers aren't working very good, will tell you where to get your free version of Ham Radio Deluxe. Go to this address and do a Control F and do a search for HRD. And below parameters and downloads, it'll tell you number 7, HRD 5.24.0.38 free. Click on that, download it. And there's also a driver disc for the USB to RS-232 cable that will be supplied. Oh boy, about 20 minutes on this one. Okay, I'm going to get this uploaded to YouTube. And thanks for watching. 73.